The crash in Sector 12, the night sky above Earth's colony Zone 7, was dark and full of thunder. A strong space storm had been moving through the upper atmosphere for hours. Lightning crackled across the sky, lighting up the distant hills near Sector 12, a no-man's zone where humans rarely went. Dr. Leo Cade sat inside his lonely outpost clinic sipping hot coffee. He was the only medic in this region. Most of the colony population had moved closer to the cities, but Leo had stayed, helping those few who still lived far out. Suddenly, the alarm on his monitor beeped loudly. Unidentified ship crash. Coordinates. Sector 12. Biosignal detected. Immediate danger. Leo jumped up. He stared at the screen. A small craft had fallen fast through the storm. Most ships avoided this zone. But this one didn't. And now, someone was alive in that wreck. Without wasting time, he grabbed his med kit, put on his field jacket, and rushed out to his rover. The rain was heavy, the road muddy, but Leo drove straight into the storm. His headlights flashed across broken trees and deep puddles. He followed the signal. 20 minutes later, he stopped in front of a smoking crater. A small silver ship was buried half in the ground. It hissed and sparked. Leo ran toward the wreck, stepping over broken metal. He found the side door half open. The inside of the ship was burning and filled with smoke. And then, he saw her. A girl. No, not human. She had pale lavender skin, long white hair, and glowing markings on her cheeks. Her clothes were torn, some kind of royal armor. Blood, thick and silver blue, dripped from her shoulder. She was unconscious, curled on the floor, hugging a small metallic case tightly to her chest. Leo knelt beside her. "She's alive," he whispered. Her breathing was shallow, weak. "But she won't last long." He gently pried the case from her arms and carried her out into the rain. Her skin sparkled in the wet light. She felt too light, too fragile. He placed her in the back of the rover and raced back to his clinic, his heart pounding. Back at the outpost, Leo cleaned her wounds under soft lights. Her body didn't respond to normal medicine, so he tried low-energy healing waves. Her blood glowed under the scanner. He had never seen anything like it. It was beautiful and terrifying. As he worked, her eyes opened, bright silver purple, and locked on his face. She didn't scream, she didn't speak, she just stared. Leo spoke gently. "You're safe. I won't hurt you. Do you understand?" She blinked. Once, then closed her eyes again. The next morning, she was still unconscious. But her body had stabilized. The metal case she had clutched was sealed tight with alien markings. Leo placed it in a storage locker, unsure if it was a weapon or a message. Then his comms device buzzed. "Central Colony Command. We detected an alien object crash. If you find anything unusual, report it immediately. Unauthorized sheltering is a criminal offense." Leo stared at the sleeping alien girl. "If I report her," he thought, "they'll take her away. She's already half dead." He switched off the comms. He would keep her hidden. That night, lightning flashed again outside. The storm hadn't passed. Leo sat beside her bed, watching her. She breathed softly now, peacefully. He had placed a warm blanket over her, then suddenly, her hand moved. She reached out, slowly, weakly, and touched Leo's hand. Her skin was warm. Her fingers glowed. Leo froze. Her eyes opened again, this time full of fear. And something else. Trust. She whispered something in a strange language. Leo didn't understand the words, but he felt their meaning. "Thank you." And then she passed out again. Leo leaned back in his chair. He looked at the stars through the window. Something was wrong. A royal ship never crashes by accident. Who is she really? Why is she here? And what's inside that case? He didn't have answers yet, but he knew one thing for sure. This wasn't just an accident. It was the beginning of something far bigger than him, and the beautiful alien girl in his clinic was at the heart of it. Treating royal blood The alien girl's glow had faded a little by morning. Dr. Leo Cade stood over her bed, his arms crossed. She lay silent, barely breathing, but her wounds had sealed. No human medicine could do that. Her body had begun to heal itself, strange and powerful. Leo had seen many alien species while working near the outer colonies, but never one like her. And yet, there was something different. He picked up a small scanner and gently waved it over her arm. The screen flashed red. Warning, royal blood detected. Centauri class. Leo stepped back. His breath caught in his throat. Royal? The Centauri were one of the most powerful alien empires in the galaxy. Their royal family was rarely seen, their faces hidden, their daughters kept inside crystal palaces, far from human colonies. So why was a royal Centauri girl here, on Earth, and why had no ship come looking for her? Later that day, the girl woke again. Her eyes opened slowly, not with fear this time, but with focus. She looked at Leo, really looked at him. She sat up, wincing. He rushed forward to help. No sudden moves, Leo said softly. You're hurt. But she pushed his hands away and looked around the room, alert and cautious. Then she grabbed the blanket and wrapped herself tight, holding her wrist, the one with the glowing symbol. Leo raised his hands in peace. I'm not your enemy. She stared at him. Then, to his surprise, she opened her mouth and said one word. Medic. Leo blinked. Yes, that's me. Dr. Leo Cade. She nodded slightly. Then she pointed toward the storage locker. Her voice was broken, soft and strange. Case. Give. Leo hesitated. You sure? She didn't blink. Her tone was clear. Now. Case. Now. He walked over, opened the locker, and handed her the silver case. She held it close like it was part of her own body. Her fingers slid over the symbols. The case opened with a soft click. Inside was a crystal orb floating in blue light. And something else. A thin, golden thread. Leo looked closer. What is that? The girl took the thread and placed it on his wrist. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, his skin glowed, his pulse raced, the thread melted into him like liquid light. His vision blurred for a second. What did you do to me? The girl said in a low voice. Life mark. Leo stepped back. What does that mean? But she was already lying down again, the orb in her hands. She was exhausted, and Leo felt strange. That evening, Leo connected to the colony network and tried to decode the term life mark. All records were restricted. Every file said the same thing. Access denied, royal protocol. His heart beat faster. Was he in danger now? Was she? He walked back to her room. She was awake again, staring out the small window. Leo sat across from her. Can you understand me now? She nodded slowly. He asked, What's your name? The girl touched her chest. Ariel. Ariel, he repeated. She whispered, I was hunted, my ship attacked. Why? She looked at him. Because, I said no. No to what? Ariel didn't answer. Her eyes filled with pain. Then she looked directly at him. You saved me, she said. Now you are mine. Leo blinked. What do you mean mine? She touched his wrist, the place where the golden thread had vanished. Life mark means you are connected to me, chosen, my protector, my pair. Leo's heart skipped a beat. That can't be real. She looked at him. It is. Suddenly, the wall screen blinked. Proximity alert. Unknown ships entering Earth's orbit. Ariel sat up straight. They found me. Who? Those who want me dead. Leo stared at her. Then we have a problem. Ariel grabbed his hand. No, We have each other. The silent bond. The wind howled outside the clinic, but inside the room, it was quiet. Oriel sat near the window, wrapped in a gray blanket. Her glowing eyes stared out at the sky, watching the clouds swirl. She had barely spoken since the warning alert came. But Leo could feel her worry like a weight in the air. Dr. Leo Cade sat at his desk, pretending to review files. But he kept glancing at her. Her skin shimmered softly in the dim light. She hadn't eaten. She hadn't slept much, and her wounds, though closing, still looked raw. He stood and walked over. "I made something," he said. "It's not your food, but it's warm." He held out a steaming bowl. Oriel turned. Her eyes fell on the soup. She took it slowly, like it was made of glass. Then, to his surprise, she whispered, "Thank you." Her voice was soft, but real Leo gave a small smile. "You're welcome." They sat in silence for a while. She sipped the soup, her body trembling slightly. Leo didn't ask more questions, not yet. But inside he was confused. What was this life mark? Why was she calling him her protector? He hadn't agreed to anything. He had only done what any decent human would have done. Helped someone who was hurt. Yet something inside him had changed since she placed that golden thread on his wrist. He didn't just want to protect her. He needed to. Later that night, as the storm grew stronger, Leo brought her a clean set of human clothes. Soft, comfortable. Oriel looked at them strangely. "I don't know your size," he said, placing them on the bed. "But maybe better than armor." She slowly touched the fabric as if it were something holy. Then, without saying anything, she stood and turned away. Leo froze. She was undressing. Slowly, carefully. Her back had strange, faint markings like stars on skin. He looked away at once, flustered. "Sorry, I didn't mean, I'll give you privacy." Before he could leave the room, she spoke. "No shame," she said. Leo stopped. Oriel added, "You marked. You see me. I see you." Then she slipped into the human clothes and sat down again. Her body looked different now, smaller, fragile, like a lost girl pretending to be strong. Later that night, lightning flashed through the windows. Leo was in the med room when he heard a soft sound, a whimper. He turned off the scanner and walked toward Oriel's room. She was on the floor, curled into a tight ball, her eyes wide open, her body shaking. He knelt beside her. "Oriel?" She didn't respond. She was breathing fast. Her skin flickered, her markings turning dull. He reached out. "It's okay. It's just the storm." Her hand gripped his arm, hard. Her voice broke. "I saw them again. My brothers, burning." Leo sat beside her. "Was it a dream?" "No," she said. "A memory." He didn't know what to say, so he stayed with her. Minutes passed. The storm kept roaring, but slowly, she relaxed, leaning against him. Her head rested on his shoulder. Her voice came again, barely a whisper. "They made me choose. Power or freedom. I chose freedom, so they sent death." Leo's hands tightened into fists. "You don't have to go back." Oriel looked up at him. "Then where do I go?" Leo didn't answer with words. He pulled the blanket over her and wrapped an arm around her shoulder. "You stay here," he said. The next morning, she was still curled against him. They hadn't spoken, but something had changed between them. Silent understanding, a bond not made of words, but of trust. The king's guards arrive. The sun hadn't fully risen when the sky changed color, from pale blue to deep red. Dr. Leo Cade stepped out of his clinic, shielding his eyes. He looked up and froze. 3 alien warships floated above the valley, silent, massive, and shaped like blades. They didn't make a sound, but the ground beneath his feet seemed to hum. His stomach tightened. They'd found her. Inside, Oriel stood by the window. Her hands trembled as she watched the ships hover. Her eyes glowed again, but not with power, with fear. They come, she whispered. Leo rushed in. They're scanning the area. We need to move. But Ariel didn't. Step back, no use. They smell royal blood, they won't stop. Leo grabbed a small emergency pack. Then we run. I know underground tunnels from the old mining days. Ariel turned to him, her voice calm but cold. They are not assassins. They are royal guards. My father sent them. Leo stopped moving. Then they're here to help? Ariel didn't smile. No. They're here to take me back, whether I want to go or not. Before Leo could speak again, a loud thud shook the clinic. The door burst open. 4 tall, armored aliens entered, their silver helmets shaped like hawks. Their weapons buzzed with energy. Leo stepped in front of Ariel, arms wide. She's injured. She needs rest. One of the guards aimed his weapon at Leo's chest. Step aside, human. Ariel's voice rang clear now. Enough. All 4 guards dropped to one knee instantly, their weapons powered down. The lead guard spoke. Princess Ariel, by the king's decree, we are here to return you to your world. She stepped forward, her face calm. Leo watched her unsure. Princess, he whispered. She looked back at him. I didn't lie. I only hid it. Leo nodded slowly. The lead guard stood again. And who is this male? Ariel raised her chin. He is the one who saved me. He carries the life mark. By royal law, he is my chosen. The guards looked at Leo in shock. The lead guard blinked, then stepped back. Forgive me, royal pair, Leo whispered. Wait, what? Pair? Ariel gently took his hand and raised it. The faint golden glow returned on his wrist, only visible to their eyes. You touched royal blood when it was open, she said softly. You chose to stay when I was hunted. You did not sell me. You did not fear me. The bond sealed itself. Leo looked at the guards. So now what? I'm your, what, husband? Ariel hesitated. Not yet, but by law, soon. The lead guard activated a floating screen. A blue hologram shimmered in the air. An older alien male appeared, wearing black robes, gold rings on his horns, and eyes full of fire. The king. Leo stared. Ariel knelt instantly. The guards lowered their heads. The king's voice was deep and full of thunder. My daughter. Lives. This human had protected her. Ariel spoke. He healed me, hid me, gave me peace. The king looked at Leo. You carry the life mark? Leo nodded slowly. Yes. I didn't ask for it. The king's tone changed. Softer, but still sharp. You touched her blood, bonded to her pain. That is more than any warrior of mine has done. He paused, then said words Leo didn't expect. You are now part of my house, whether you accept it or not. The hologram faded. Leo stood still. The guards lowered their weapons and saluted, him and Ariel. She looked at him with eyes that no longer feared the future, just waited for his choice. The royal claimed Dr. Leo Cade sat alone on the roof of his clinic, staring at the sky. The alien warship still floated above like sleeping giants. His hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the weight of what had just happened. He was claimed, chosen, life-marked, by a royal alien princess, and now he belonged to her world. Behind him, the clinic door opened. Ariel stepped out quietly, wearing a long, dark cloak given to her by the guards. Her silver hair flowed in the breeze. The morning light made her markings glow gently across her cheekbones. She sat beside Leo without a word. He spoke first. So it's true? Ariel nodded. The bond is real. It cannot be undone, not without pain or death. Leo exhaled, sharply. You should have warned me. She turned to him. Would you have helped me if I did? He didn't answer right away. Yes, but I would have known what I was getting into. Ariel's voice dropped. I didn't know it would bind that strong. Our blood chose. Leo looked at her. What does it mean now? Am I your husband? Her eyes met his. By law, not yet, but my father has declared the royal claim. That means I have the right to choose a mate, and I already did. Leo laughed bitterly. That's a lot for a guy who was just fixing broken arms 2 days ago. Oriel smiled softly. And, now you've fixed a royal heart. Later that day, the guards began preparing the transport back to the main royal ship. The inside of the vessel was golden, filled with crystal light and soft music. Leo followed Oriel, still unsure of everything. A tall alien advisor approached him. You will be honored, protected, served. You will live in the Star Palace. Leo shook his head. I'm just a medic. The advisor bowed. You are now the bonded. That makes you second only to the princess. Oriel turned to him. You will be safe, but watched. Our people do not trust humans easily. They think you are weak. Leo looked her in the eyes. Are you one of them? She shook her head. No, I think you're the strongest person I've ever met. When they arrived at the royal mothership, it was larger than anything Leo had seen. The palace inside the ship stretched like a city. Glowing trees, floating lights, endless halls of glass. Alien nobles looked at him with surprise and disbelief. Whispers followed him. A human? The princess bonded with a Terran? This must be a joke. Leo tried to ignore it. But the weight of every eye made his chest feel heavy. Inside the throne chamber, the king waited. This time, not a hologram, but in real form. Taller than anyone. Eyes sharp, his presence filled the room. He looked at Leo. You chose to protect my daughter. Not for gold. Not for power. That is rare. Leo stood still. I didn't do it for anything. She was hurt. I helped. That's what I do. The king nodded slowly. Good. Then he raised his voice. By ancient law and royal decree, I recognize the human Leo Cade as the claimed. Let it be known across the stars. My daughter has chosen her future, and he shall stand beside her. The crowd gasped, some clapped, others left in silence. Later, Oriel took Leo's hand and led him to a quiet garden inside the ship. Flowers floated in the air. A soft breeze whispered over the stones. Leo sat beside her, overwhelmed. She rested her head on his shoulder. I'm sorry your life changed so fast, she said. Leo smiled a little. You apologized 3 times already. She looked up at him. Do you regret it? He thought for a long moment. No, he said. But I still don't understand what this gift really is. Oriel touched his chest gently. You'll understand. Soon. The gift is not just me. It's what your heart unlocked inside our future, returned to the stars stretched out in every direction like frozen fireflies. Dr. Leo Cade stood at the edge of the observation deck aboard the royal mothership. Beneath his feet, the glass floor showed a swirling galaxy. Around him, alien nobles in glowing robes floated by, too elegant to walk. He didn't belong here. But he was no longer just a human medic. He was now the claimed, a royal protector, bonded to Princess Oriel by blood and fate. Behind him, the doctor opened with a soft hum. Oriel stepped in, her long dark gown trailing like mist. Her hair was braided in silver rings, her eyes glowing brighter than ever. You're up early, she said. Leo gave a tired smile. Couldn't sleep. Space is louder than it looks. She moved beside him. Is it the stars that keep you awake, or the weight of a crown? Leo turned to face her. Both. Later that day, the king called a private meeting in the throne room. Only Oriel and Leo were allowed inside. The king stood beside a glowing map of the galaxy. Our enemies know she survived. They will come again. Leo crossed his arms. Why would anyone want her dead? The king's voice dropped lower. Because she refused the bonding ceremony with the Vraxi Empire's prince. That marriage was meant to keep peace. When she fled, the alliance shattered. Leo stared at Auriel. So this is all because you said no? She nodded. I chose freedom. I chose you. The king continued. Now war is a possibility. Unless we show unity, the galaxy must see that she is not alone, that you are her shield. Leo frowned. I didn't agree to be a hero. The king's expression hardened. You agreed the moment you didn't walk away. After the meeting, Auriel found Leo alone, sitting beneath the floating trees of the palace garden. She sat beside him without speaking. He finally asked, What if I mess this up? I'm not like your people. I'm not a warrior. I'm not royalty. She placed her hand over his. You're kind. You're brave. You saved me when I had nothing. That is stronger than bloodlines. Leo looked at her. I just wanted to help someone in need. Auriel smiled. Then help me again. Stand beside me. Return with me to Zentar. They must see your face. They must know my choice. Leo nodded slowly. Then I'll go with you. The next day, a royal announcement was broadcast across the system. The Princess Auriel returns home, with her chosen bonded, a human healer, a man of Earth, a sign of peace between stars. Reactions were mixed. Some celebrated, others protested, but it didn't matter. The royal ship prepared for departure, and at its heart, Leo and Auriel stood side by side. As the engines roared to life, Leo stood at the viewing port. Earth was behind them now, a small blue dot fading into space. Auriel placed her hand in his. This is where the real story begins, she whispered. Leo nodded. Let's hope it ends better than it started, she smiled. Or maybe, this story never ends. The healer's throne. The royal capital of Zentar rose like a crown from the surface of a violet world. Its towers shimmered with crystal light. Bridges floated between them like ribbons in the sky. Alien citizens lined the walkways, whispering and pointing at the approaching royal cruiser. Inside the ship, Dr. Leo Cade adjusted the stiff royal jacket he had been given. He looked ridiculous, a medic pretending to be royalty. He turned to Auriel. She stood in her ceremonial dress, tall, glowing, powerful. Her eyes met his. Nervous? She asked. He gave a crooked smile. I thought stitching wounds during battle was scary, but walking into your palace as your chosen one, yeah, this wins. She reached up and straightened the collar on his jacket. You don't have to be anyone else, just be you. Leo sighed. I hope your people accept that. Auriel looked out the window at the crowd waiting below. They will, or they'll learn to. The ship landed in the central plaza. Trumpets made of light blasted through the air. Thousands of aliens, nobles, and citizens bowed. Auriel stepped forward. Leo followed, one step behind, but instead of going into the palace, she stopped, turned, and reached for his hand. She raised his arm into the air. The life mark glowed gold again. A royal speaker shouted, The princess has returned. Her bonded stands beside her. Let all of Zentar witness. The crowd gasped. Some clapped. Some remained silent, but no one dared speak against her openly. Leo leaned closer to whisper. What now? Auriel smiled. Now we go to the healer's throne. Inside the palace, past dozens of guards and shining halls, they entered a quiet chamber. A simple chair sat in the center. It wasn't made of gold or crystal. It was made of living wood, grown from the royal tree of Zentar. It was not a throne of war. It was a throne of healing. Long ago, it was made for those who brought peace to the empire during the time of great conflict. No one had sat on it in 100 years. Auriel turned to Leo. This is yours now. Leo blinked. What? She nodded. You are the first outsider to ever bring peace to royal blood. You healed a future queen. Not just my body, but my heart. You gave us hope. Leo stared at the wooden chair. But I'm not a king. I'm just a man with a med kit. You're more than that, she said. You're my bond, and my people must see that healing can be more powerful than conquest. Slowly, Leo walked forward and sat down. The tree shimmered beneath him. Its roots glowed, and vines stretched out softly, wrapping around the throne, accepting him. A warm energy flowed through his body, a feeling of belonging. For the first time, Leo didn't feel like an outsider. That night, during the royal feast, nobles bowed when they greeted him. They called him the Healer Prince. Children whispered stories about him, and Ariel never left his side. Later, on the moonlit balcony, she took his hand again. I gave you a gift when I was weak, she said softly. Now I give it with full heart. Leo turned to her. What? Gift? She leaned in. Her forehead touched his. Their markings shimmered together, his life mark and her royal lines glowing as one. My future, she whispered. That's the real gift. Leo wrapped his arms around her. And I'll protect it, he said, with everything I have. Far above, the stars shined bright, a healer, a princess. Two lives that were never meant to meet, now written into the history of the stars, and their story of trust, healing, and unexpected love was only just beginning. The end.